Imagine discovering that the person you love most is being tortured by thoughts of your past relationships. Every day, every moment, unable to escape the prison of their own mind. That's exactly what happened to this couple, where one partner's untreated OCD turned their dream marriage into a nightmare of constant triggers, emotional abuse, and impossible demands. But here's the real question that haunts so many relationships. When does supporting someone's mental health battle cross the line into enabling destructive behavior that's destroying you both? Imagine walking on eggshells every day, never knowing what might trigger your partner's intense jealousy about your past relationships. That's the reality for today's story, where a 32-year-old woman finds herself facing divorce after just 1 year of marriage, all because of her husband's obsessive fixation on her dating history from nearly a decade ago. This isn't just about jealousy. It's about the devastating impact of untreated mental health issues on a relationship and the impossible choice between supporting someone you love and protecting your own well-being. Think about it. How many of us have past relationships that helped shape who we are today? Should we have to apologize for living a life before meeting our current partner? These are questions that countless couples grapple with, but for some, like our storyteller today, they become all-consuming battles that threaten to destroy everything they've built together. As mental health awareness grows in our society, we're seeing more cases where conditions like retroactive jealousy OCD create impossible situations in otherwise loving relationships. It's a complex issue that forces us to examine where personal responsibility ends and mental illness begins. When does supporting your partner through their struggles cross the line into enabling destructive behavior? And how do you maintain your own identity and self-worth when someone you love seems determined to punish you for your past? As we dive into this story, I want you to think about where that line is between being understanding of someone's struggles and recognizing when a situation has become unhealthy. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't dealing with the problem itself. It's knowing when to stop trying to fix something that's breaking you in the process. This story serves as a powerful reminder that love alone isn't always enough to heal deep-seated psychological wounds, and that sometimes the most loving choice we can make is to step away. Looking back, the red flags were there from the start of their relationship, though they were easy to dismiss as simple curiosity or natural insecurity. During their dating phase, he would casually ask about her previous relationships, seeming genuinely interested in getting to know her past. But these innocent questions gradually evolved into intense interrogations that would last for hours. He began fixating on specific details, dates, locations, even the restaurants where she had dined with previous partners. What started as occasional curiosity transformed into an obsession that consumed their daily lives. She found herself censoring innocent stories, avoiding certain places, and even removing old photos from social media. Anything that might trigger his spiral into jealous thoughts. The most concerning part? He acknowledged his behavior was problematic, but refused professional help, insisting he could handle it on his own. This pattern of escalating control and denial would set the stage for the devastating conflicts to come, as his retroactive jealousy began to cast an ever-darkening shadow over their relationship. Looking deeper, we can see how this dynamic affected every aspect of their lives. Family gatherings became minefields, as relatives might innocently mention past events or relationships. She stopped sharing childhood memories or college stories, afraid that any mention of her life before him would spark another episode. Friends noticed how she changed, becoming more withdrawn, less spontaneous, always checking with him before making plans. The psychological impact was profound. Her confidence began to erode, replaced by constant anxiety about triggering his jealousy. She started to question her own past, wondering if having normal relationships and experiences before meeting him somehow made her a bad person. Mental health experts would recognize this as a classic sign of emotional abuse, when someone is made to feel guilty about completely normal life experiences. His behavior showed all the hallmarks of obsessive-compulsive patterns: intrusive thoughts about her past, compulsive questioning and fact-checking, and an inability to accept reassurance. Yet without professional intervention, these patterns only intensified, creating a toxic cycle that would eventually prove impossible to break. Their first wedding anniversary should have been a celebration of love and commitment. Instead, it became the catalyst for their marriage's collapse. She had planned a romantic dinner at an upscale restaurant in the city, hoping to create new, positive memories. But halfway through the meal, her husband discovered that she had once visited the same restaurant 8 years ago with an ex-boyfriend. What followed was a complete meltdown in public: accusations, tears, and a dramatic exit that left her alone at the table, apologizing to concerned waitstaff. But let's pause here and ask ourselves, how did they reach this breaking point? The signs had been there from the beginning. Every photo she posted on social media was scrutinized for hints of her past. Family gatherings became interrogations about previous relationships. Even innocent conversations about college years would spiral into hours of questioning and emotional turmoil. Sound familiar to anyone watching? The evening that should have marked a milestone in their marriage instead highlighted the impossible nature of their situation. Think about it. How can you build a future when every present moment is held hostage by the past? The restaurant incident became a turning point, not because it was particularly unusual, but because it crystallized the pattern of their entire relationship. Every attempt at creating happiness was overshadowed by his uncontrollable fixation on her previous life. This is a pattern I've seen countless times in my practice. One partner becomes so consumed by their partner's past that they forget to live in the present. It's like trying to drive a car while only looking in the rearview mirror. Eventually, you're going to crash. The real tragedy? These couples often have genuine love and potential, but the poison of retroactive jealousy slowly erodes everything beautiful they've built together. The question isn't whether someone has a past. We all do. The real question is, are you ready to accept that your partner's past experiences helped shape them into the person you fell in love with? Because until you can answer yes to that question, you're not just fighting with their history. You're fighting against the very essence of who they are. Let's break down what's really happening in this relationship dynamic. We're seeing classic symptoms of OCD manifesting as relationship abuse. The husband's intrusive thoughts about his wife's past create overwhelming anxiety, which he tries to control through compulsive behaviors, constant questioning, monitoring, and emotional punishment. But here's the tragic cycle. Every time she accommodates his demands, it temporarily relieves his anxiety, but reinforces the OCD, making it stronger. Meanwhile, her own mental health deteriorates as she's forced to erase more and more of herself to manage his condition. This isn't just about jealousy, it's about the devastating intersection of untreated mental illness and emotional abuse. Potential triggers, transforming what should have been a loving partnership into an exhausting dance of avoidance and anxiety. Have you ever felt like you're walking on eggshells in your own home? That's exactly how she felt every single day. A casual scroll through social media, something most of us do mindlessly, could spark hours of questioning if she accidentally liked an old friend's post. Who is he? When did you know him? Were you ever interested in him? The interrogations would spiral, turning a simple double tap into a full-blown crisis. Watching TV together was nearly impossible. Any romantic scene could lead to probing questions about her past intimate experiences. She found herself tensing up during these moments, already anticipating the uncomfortable conversation that would follow. Even simple activities like grocery shopping became anxiety-inducing ordeals, as certain brands or products might remind him of her previous relationships. A particular coffee brand, a specific restaurant, even a song playing over the store speakers, anything could become ammunition for his jealousy. The mental toll was enormous. She found herself constantly self-editing, second-guessing every word and action, trying to predict what might set off his next episode of retroactive jealousy. It was like playing chess with her own memories, always thinking 10 moves ahead to avoid potential triggers. Friends noticed she had become withdrawn, always checking her phone nervously when he would text, making excuses to avoid social gatherings where stories from the past might come up. This wasn't just affecting their marriage. It was slowly erasing her identity as she tried to exist only in the present moment, denying any history before him. Her vibrant personality, once full of spontaneous joy and authentic expression, was being replaced by a carefully curated version of herself designed to avoid conflict. The question wasn't just about jealousy anymore. It was about survival of the self in a relationship that demanded constant vigilance. The morning he announced his decision to file for divorce started like any other, with tension simmering beneath the surface. But this time, something was different. After another sleepless night of arguments about a photo he'd discovered from her college years, he declared that he couldn't live like this anymore. The irony wasn't lost on her. He was the one who couldn't handle their situation, yet he was initiating the divorce. In that moment, despite the shock and pain, she felt an unexpected sense of relief. The constant pressure of managing his emotions, the exhausting dance of avoiding triggers, the gradual erosion of her self-worth, it had all become too much. When he blamed her past for destroying their marriage, she finally saw with clarity that no amount of erasing her history could have saved them. His announcement of divorce wasn't really the end. It was just the formal acknowledgement that their relationship had been dying slowly for months. If you're watching this and recognizing similar patterns in your relationship, here are crucial steps to protect both yourself and your partner. 1. Understand the difference between normal jealousy and OCD. Normal jealousy responds to reassurance. OCD escalates despite it. 2. Stop enabling cycles. Accommodating OCD questions, cost demands, makes the condition worse. 3. Set firm boundaries around interrogations and controlling behavior. 4. Require professional help as a non-negotiable condition of continuing the relationship. 5. Build your own support network and therapy resources. 6. Create a safety plan for your mental health and well-being. 7. Document patterns of emotional abuse versus mental health struggles. The community's response was overwhelming, a testament to how many people silently endure similar struggles. Hundreds of comments poured in, creating a virtual support network that would prove invaluable in her journey. Have you ever felt that moment of profound relief when you realize you're not alone in your experiences? Many commenters had walked the same path, their stories eerily similar to hers. They helped her understand that what she had been dealing with wasn't normal jealousy, but a form of emotional abuse masked as mental health struggles. Think about it. How often do we mistake controlling behavior for care or manipulation for vulnerability? The community's collective wisdom illuminated the red flags she'd been trying to rationalize away. They pointed out how his refusal to seek treatment while using his condition to control her behavior revealed the true nature of their dynamic. Their support gave her the strength to start imagining a future where she wouldn't have to apologize for having lived a life before meeting her husband, where her past wouldn't be weaponized against her present, and where her independence would be celebrated rather than suspected. As she begins the process of rebuilding her life, she's learning valuable lessons about love, mental health, and personal boundaries. Have you ever found yourself wondering where the line is between supporting someone and losing yourself? That's exactly the journey she's been on. The experience has taught her that supporting someone through mental health challenges shouldn't mean sacrificing your own well-being, a lesson that many of us learn the hard way. Think of it like being on an airplane. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. She's starting to understand that real love doesn't require erasing your past or constantly proving your devotion. Those demands were red flags she initially mistook for deep commitment. Through therapy and self-reflection, she's recognizing the strength it took to endure those months of emotional turmoil and the even greater strength it takes to walk away. She's learning to reframe her experience. Each difficult moment wasn't a failure, but a step toward better understanding herself. When she catches herself second-guessing her decision, she remembers the sleepless nights, the constant walking on eggshells, the gradual dimming of her own light. These memories, though painful, serve as important guideposts for her future. While the marriage may have ended, she's emerging with a clearer understanding of what she needs in a relationship and the importance of addressing mental health issues head-on. She's developed practical strategies for future relationships, setting clear boundaries early, maintaining her independence, and trusting her instincts when something feels off. Most importantly, she's learned that compassion must extend to herself as much as to others. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the most loving thing we can do, both for ourselves and our partners, is to acknowledge when a situation has become unhealthy and take steps to change it. It's not about giving up. It's about choosing growth over stagnation, health over harm, and self-respect over self-sacrifice.